Here we go.
We're not kidding.
Welcome to technology. All right, am I good? No?
Oh my goodness.
You are good now.
All right, fantastic. Thank you everyone for your patience and welcome to the Tuesday, October 7th, 2025 meeting of the Stowe Select Board. We have a full house this evening. First up is going to be public comment that is limited to anything that is not on the agenda. Folks can have 1 to 2 minutes and anybody for public comment? No? Nobody online?
No hands are raised.
Great. Board member updates.
The comprehensive plan committee finally finished its plan and has submitted the final plan, so that committee is done.
Fantastic.
That's the only update.
Nothing substantive.
Just a comment, I was wondering if we could get on a future agenda, common road.
Sure.
Sure.
I attended my first SMOT meeting. It was very interesting and that's all I have to say right now on it. We talked a lot about 3A, which we will talk about. That's all I got.
Talked a lot about what?
The zoning, the 3A zoning,
Okay.
and also about the
You said
projects.
3A, not everybody knows what 3A is.
Sorry, yes, you're right. Yes, that is what we talked about and future projects and all of the things. All right, I'm ready for town administrators.
Thank you. I would like to start by extending my condolences to the town of Bolton and the Bolton PD on the passing of their police chief, Luke Hamburger. My deepest sympathies to all who knew him, especially his family and friends, and especially those members of our department that were close with him. So thinking of all of them during this sudden loss. We rolled out a new website this morning, so please bear with us. We started the conversion in June and have had to maintain 2 websites, and it has gotten tremendously much more difficult as time has gone on. And we had no choice but to cut over. So we are dealing with getting links and getting things up and running and getting things where they need to be, but it will look different. It will be a little more dynamic once we finally are up and running with it fully. But there is some good information and it looks nice and pretty. Last week, we received word that Standard & Poor's has affirmed the town's AAA bond rating. That is the highest bond rating they can give to a municipality. So in their report, they cited our strong income levels in town, our conservative budgeting, and our fiscal discipline, as well as the commitment to long-term planning with building up our reserves. So what that means is we go out to borrow, we pay lower interest rates because we have such outstanding credit. So it's really exciting to have that reaffirmed. I would like to thank everyone who came out on Saturday morning to help us build a labyrinth at Randall Woods Park. Hector was there. It was great. We had about 20 residents and about 8 staff members working in tandem with sort of assembly lines of giant rocks. It was great. In a couple hours, we built it out, and it was really a nice morning and a nice community event. So thank you for everyone who did that. And lastly, I'm very sad to share the news that our beloved library director, Tina McAndrews, has tendered her resignation. Her last day with us will be Thursday, October 30th. She will be missed dearly, especially by me, but I wish her nothing but the best in all of her future endeavors, so.
Thank you. All right, so the next item of business is our appointment. And we have an appointment for a fire captain, so.
You need to speak a little louder.
Really?
You do.
We have a fire captain appointment. So Chief, I would like you to speak.
So when I took control of the department a year ago, one of my main focuses has been to boost our call department numbers, improve our working conditions, improve our morale, start building on a culture of community camaraderie, and we've been able to make great strides in that. And one of the trade-offs to that is you're looking at a very young department here now, right? And something else that's been lacking is leadership that's just under my level. So my recommendation is to have Lieutenant Mark Guerin appointed to the rank of captain. He's been in the role of acting captain now for several weeks. He's done a really great job with it. What Mark brings to the table that we are lacking right now is an institutional knowledge of the town, institutional knowledge of the fire service, and I really think that moving forward with him, him and I working together, we can bring the department to the next level.
Did you have anything you wanted to say?
Nope, just I look forward to working with Mark in his new role.
Mark, it's a testament to the department,
Yeah, look
how
at
many
this.
people are here. This is this is tremendous. So I hope that this is, I hope this is indicative of what you're gonna be able to do in this position, so. Did you wanna say, anybody wanna say anything before Mark speaks?
I just
I-
love this.
Actually, Mark, on a personal note, you know the address of where I am and the number of times that you were there with my father-in-law. And I always found you to be extremely compassionate, concerning, caring. And in that particular time, which could be difficult at times, your leadership with your staff was always exemplary. And I know that you will continue in that vein in the position of captain.
Thank you very much.
And I really look forward to it, because I know that Stowe will be far better with you as captain.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everybody. I really do look forward to pleasing you guys and in the town and keeping the town safe for many years to come. I really, truly love this town. I've worked here for a long time, and I feel that this, it's only gonna get better from here. And I'm really looking forward to it.
So I'm gonna take a motion.
On that, I move to appoint Mark Guerin to the position of fire captain of the Stowe Fire Department through June 30th, 2026, and subject to reappointment thereafter.
Second? Oh, I'm seconding.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and that is a unanimous vote, so congratulations. There's some hardware.
Thank you all
I'm gonna
for
take-
coming.
Yep.
It's so great to see you all.
Yes. Congratulations. All right, I will take a picture of you getting your hardware.
On your way.
No, you're fine.
Got it?
Don't miss.
It's okay. Gentle.
Whispering.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Thanks
Well,
everybody for
you all
showing
can,
up.
thank you all for coming. Thank you, this was great. Thank you. All right, moving on. We have a discussion with Valerie Oorthuys, our planning director, regarding the Multifamily Housing Overlay District article. And also Lori Clark, who is the chair of the planning board. Have at it.
Thank you. Yes, so Lori and I are here to talk again about the MBTA Communities Act and the planning board's approach for compliance with the state mandate. I think it was at the end of May that we were in front of the select board last. And we've appreciated the board's support since then. I think it was at that meeting that we had the board kind of sign on to this mission statement with the goal of compliance with the MBTA Communities Act. So, you know, we wanted to kind of come back to that discussion and see if there are any questions about the MBTA Communities Act and the bylaw, and more directly, to see if there is the opportunity for a vote of support from the select board to be included in the warrant for town meeting. We know your recommendation is valuable. So we want to make sure that we answer any questions, kind of clarify anything that we can ahead of time.
Anybody?
I've had a few conversations with residents, especially at Meeting House, who, there seems to be some confusion about this, and I know it'll probably be clarified at the town meeting, but I think it's worth clarifying again here that if this bylaw passes, nobody's gonna tear down houses and immediately start building a 139 unit multifamily dwelling.
That's
And
correct.
that all this means is that there will be the opportunity, if someone wants on their property to build a multifamily dwelling, they can. But it's multiple lots, I don't remember how many lots are included, but for a developer to do that, they'd have to buy all the lots, and good luck doing that. But the downside also is if this doesn't pass, the town of Stowe is looking for a heavy financial loss.
Well, in fact, the state has gotten a little clearer about a bit of what's to come for non-compliance. And besides penalties or loss of grants, they've also may look to appoint a master to determine how the zoning will become incompliant. Or they could overrule local zoning for things that are not in line with MBTA community law. So it's monetary and potentially loss of local control.
What do you two feel is the biggest misconception right now that you feel like you're fighting with the?
Well, I think Hector did just point to a very big one. So it is just a zoning exercise. It is not a building mandate. The state is not looking to have to come back and see how many units are constructed. So really any building that does happen is gonna be a product of the neighborhood itself. It's all individual property owners who will get to choose what happens to their own property just as they are today. Other big misconceptions. I mean, we're not likely to see the 15 units an acre once, if someone did choose to develop, because we still have well and septic requirements, we're likely to see something much less dense. And the state's aware of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the property owners and or abutters would rather see it on undeveloped land. But we all know that will come at the cost of the potential large development of 139 units all at once, whereas this is slow, gradual, and probably not to that extent over time. So it gives the town the ability to manage that slow change if it should come.
Can you talk, sorry, and then anybody else, but can you talk briefly about what the infrastructure impacts would be to a larger development coming in? Like what the financial impacts would be to the town for a larger development coming in? So I'm assuming we would need, all the things that come along with more people coming into a town, right?
Town services, possibly. I just wanna go back 1 second before I lose the thought, which is, I think the other misconception is we're gonna get some large apartment or condo building like what is going on in Acton right now. And just to be clear, we have purposely limited it to things we think fit into Stowe and that are in Stowe already. Duplexes, triplexes, townhomes of only 5 unit building per building. So that's that was one choice we could make, so we did make that.
Okay.
But in terms of large development versus incremental development, I just think it has to do with overall town services and the impact it has by having it happen all at once. Additionally, just that would, a larger development means that a developer, because they can develop that many units, is willing to do a water source. Whereas when they're dealing with one smaller lot, that's probably not gonna happen, and so the amount of development in the district will be far fewer than the max.
Did you have something?
Just the only other confusion that I had heard is, oh my God, with these developments, you know, the huge influx of traffic on 117 and Great Road, and oh my God, it's horrible already, especially at rush hour, etc. And I've done my best to explain that in fact this
Tries to mitigate that.
Right. it actually does, because a developer really can't pull in a 139 unit complex.
And just remember, we purposely chose Great Road because this is by right. There's a special hearing for the site plan approval, but there's no conditions that we would have in a special permit being able to look at, you know, the conditions. So because it was by right, we purposely kept it to the busiest road. And that's just simple math, you know. A 1% increase in traffic on a road is much different than a 100% increase in traffic on a road.
I had two thoughts. Understanding that you said it's not gonna look like, say, the large development in Acton or that sort of thing. Is a fair comparison something more similar to the neighborhood adjacent to Masters Academy, or where that will be, like that area?
It's so hard to say,
Okay.
so.
It's theoretical, I get that, but like.
Yes, well, because when you do a large development, it's more economical to do a public water supply and a sewage treatment facility. That's helped by having more units. So typically a developer wouldn't do that unless there's 200 to 300 bedrooms, which you're getting at Villages at Stowe, right? So it's kind of hard to say. It certainly wouldn't happen at that scale. However, there are some units, I believe, along Baldwin Drive that do look like the townhomes that we are describing. So, you know, a couple, I think there are some buildings that have about 3 townhomes together in one unit. So that's the kind of a type of housing type that we allow. But looking at the development as a whole, I don't think is a great comparison.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then secondly, so besides avoiding penalty in the near term from the state, are there, in your opinion, positives in the near term? Because what you've been talking about is like long term, you know, gradually you have the ability to decide, but in the near term, are there positives coming forward?
Yes, I'd say no matter what, even if there's no building, the town would then be eligible for a new state capital grant, the MBTA Catalyst Fund, I believe it's called. So that's a capital grant that we would be eligible for. I believe the planning board's talked about the ability for us to apply for design and construction of a sidewalk. So that we're really getting that walkability from this district right into the lower village. So I think those are kind of some immediate benefits, and certainly if there is construction over time, it is just added benefit to have folks living in walking distance to our business district.
The EDIC has been supportive, because if development does happen, it brings new demand.
And
Customers,
encourages
yes.
development of
Yep.
lower, yeah, cool, thank you.
Yeah, no, did you?
Just
Yeah.
I just want to commend the planning board for the long period of time that you worked on, and
Yes.
I don't know if the residents know how long the planning board has been grappling with this and thinking about the different alternatives and the thought that went into this and the care that went into this and the reaching out to different departments and how many public meetings and you had on this. So I just want to commend you on tackling this challenging mandate that the state has imposed on every town in the state, so.
Thank you.
Denise.
So I wanted to mention a misconception that I have heard, that I haven't even shared with Valerie because it's quite new. I have heard that we are building this on the Maynard line to tap into Maynard's water supply. That is absolutely not accurate. Maynard does not have the capacity. There have been no conversations with Maynard that we are extending the Maynard water line into this development or into this area. So I wanted to just clear that up, that is not accurate. And then I would like to ask Valerie if she can explain to the board and to folks that are watching why we have 2 articles on the MBTA zoning.
Yes, thank you, Denise. So through the community outreach that we did, we really heard from folks that duplexes are a desired use to have. So it's a bit of a technicality, but given state law, duplexes are not able to be in a zoning bylaw and still allow a simple majority vote. So what we did was have one article that has the bulk of the multifamily housing bylaw and the location. So that can be passed through a simple majority vote. And then the subsequent article amends the first to allow the duplex use, and that can be a 2/3 majority. So again, just really trying to make sure that we're shaping the bylaw to fit Stowe.
And then just to give you the confidence, the state has reviewed our proposed bylaw and location and has blessed it.
Even with the amendment for.
Yes.
Okay, great.
It's awesome.
Alright. Do we have any other questions? No? Alright, I would take a motion then.
I move to support the Multifamily Housing Overlay District, Articles 7 and 8, as presented by Planning Director Valerie Oorthuys, and for the board to recommend favorable action on these articles to town meeting.
Second.
Alright, any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous, so,
Thank you.
thank you,
Thank
thank
you
you
very
for,
much.
this is,
Thank you.
it's been a lot of work, so we
One
appreciate
more
it.
step.
One more step, right?
Yes. Less than 3 weeks. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Alright,
Thank you, Jen.
speaking about the
Well,
warrant.
Madam Chair, I
Yes.
wonder if you might want to take the special event permits and the one-day liquor
Yes,
license
I can do
ahead
that,
of our special town
absolutely.
meeting
Yep,
discussion?
Yep, you're right. Okay, so special event permit. First up is Wedgewood Pines Community Trunk or Treat. Do we have somebody here about that?
Let me just ask them to unmute.
Hi, can you hear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Hi, how are you? I'm JoJo. Nice to meet everyone. And then I think we have Rachel on the line also. So I'm the marketing manager for Wedgewood Pines. And then I have my associate Rachel on as well.
Great. And so you're asking for a permit for an event on Monday, October 27th from 5 to 7. It looks like we have notes from, do we have anything from police? No. All right, so it sounds like the only thing you're waiting on right now is you're pending a permit for the food truck.
Yeah, so we have the cannoli truck. So I just forwarded that to Joyce. They received their, you should have that in the email. And so we have their permit from the Board of Health. And then Belts applied, she just emailed us back today. They applied yesterday and said typically they hear within 2 weeks or so. But if that doesn't happen, it's not the end of the world if we can't get melt there, but we're hoping to hear back from them soon.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions about this first?
We do have the comments from Frank Ramsbottom and Valerie concerning their special permit, which does not cover all the events they currently hold.
I was gonna bring that up in a minute, but yes, you can, yep.
And after further investigation, there's also an issue with the liquor license,
Right.
which I think both can be remedied, at least over the winter when they're closed down. But those are concerns I think we need to address.
So, Rachel and JoJo's not on it anymore?
Yes, she's on.
Or is it hiding? Okay. So I think what's come up in the asking for this permit is that we do a lot of kind of review of things in order to give you a permit to do things. And one thing that had come up is that it appears that you've been having a lot of outdoor events that are not covered by the special permit that you currently hold through the planning board. And so this is an easy thing to amend, but you have to amend it with the planning board. Our issue is that the liquor license that you currently are holding is tied to that special permit, meaning you're not allowed to have alcohol outside. And I would argue that if you're running a golf course, you probably have people drinking on the course. And so these are two separate issues. So the one is we're going to talk about approving this permit for tonight. But the second one is I am strongly suggesting that you reach out to the planning board. Because unfortunately, if this is not remedied and it gets brought to our attention that the liquor license is acting outside of basically what your special permit is, we would have to enforce basically taking that liquor license through the ABCC. This is not something anyone wants to see happen, which is why I'm bringing it up. So having said all of that, we will turn back to the initial permit for this, but that's where we're going with that. So does anybody have any questions about the permit for tonight? No.
Not about this one.
Okay. And did no one from Wedgewood had anything they wanted to say about that?
The first part or the trunk or treat?
So I would love to just hear that you acknowledge the comment that I made about the liquor license and the events that have been happening on the property outside of the special permit.
Okay, yep, I acknowledge it.
You acknowledge that, great, fantastic. Okay, so I'm ready to take a motion on the trunk or treat, if we could move that on.
I move to grant a special event permit to Wedgewood Pines Country Club for trunk or treat on Monday, October 27th, 2025, from 5 to 7 p.m. Event manager Rachel Pittorino, providing all necessary documents have been received, with one pending, and with the requirement that they file to amend their special permit with the planning board to allow for outdoor use of their property.
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, seeing and hearing none, all those in favor? Aye, fantastic. All right. And we will sign off on that, and then they know to get in touch with you, Denise, for the permit? Or the office?
Yep,
Okay,
Joyce will be in
perfect.
touch with them.
All right, you're all set. Thank you so much.
You.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, and then our second permit is a one-day liquor license for St. Isidore's Church. I think Tom Spataro is here. There he is.
Yes, hello.
Hello. And so this is an event that you guys have run previously, yes? This is like a trivia?
Correct, this should be the third year.
Okay, perfect. Does anyone have any questions for Tom about this? No? JT, Dan?
Not on this, I don't.
No? And remind us, it's gonna be Saturday, November 1st, 2025 from 6:30 to 9 p.m. and this is open to the public?
Absolutely, open
Okay.
to the public. It continues to be our goal to welcome people beyond the Catholic community in town to come inside the doors and enjoy a community event, so everybody's welcome.
Perfect. All right, does anybody have any questions for Tom?
Nope.
Seeing and hearing none, I will take a motion.
I move to grant a special one-day liquor license to St. Isidore's Church on Saturday, November 1st, 2025, from 6:30 to 9 p.m. Event manager Thomas Spataro, providing all necessary documents have been received.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
And that is unanimous. Thanks, Tom.
Have a wonderful
Have a great
time.
event.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, team, we're going back to the warrant.
Madam Chair.
Yes, sir.
The warrant, I would just ask that we hold a vote on 5 and 6 on those two articles because I will need to recuse myself.
Sure. All right, so I move to, so he's gonna recuse himself from 5 and 6, so we can take,
And you've already voted 7 and 8.
we've already voted 7 and 8, so we can vote 1 to 4. We have to do 2 votes, one's gonna be for 1 to 4, and then one's gonna be for 5 to 6.
Well, if I may, so you don't need to vote on each individual article.
Okay.
You normally vote to approve the special town meeting warrant,
Okay.
the warrant. If you wanna make a recommendation on other articles, that's what you would discuss and
Gotcha.
take votes
Okay.
on. But you do not need to vote on each individual article
I
if you
see.
don't want to.
I see.
You're welcome to recommend them all if you so
When we
choose.
take the motion, do you just not wanna vote on the warrant at all?
No, just 5 and 6.
Okay, so would it be two motions? It would be, I vote on the warrant minus 5 and 6, and then we vote on 5 and 6.
I mean, if you're gonna vote, you could vote to approve, the motion would be to approve Articles 1 through 4, 7 and 8. And then he could recuse himself and you could vote on 5 and 6
Okay,
instead
perfect.
of doing the
Okay.
whole warrant as well.
Great.
Would we do 7, 8? No, it's already been done.
Well, that's different, so that was to recommend favorable action, you
Okay,
still have
okay,
to
okay.
vote on the warrant itself.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, all right. First off, does anyone have any questions about the warrant?
I had one question.
Yes, sir?
Given that the main event is the whole MBTA zoning, leaving it for the end seems a little, I know most people come to the town meeting raring to go, and as the meeting goes on, more and more people leave, so I don't know how that might affect the vote by the time we get to 7 and 8.
So, oh, sorry. You wanna go?
So in my opinion, you wanna have your, what I would call the most controversial articles last. Because if you have them first and people get up and leave, there could be a motion to reconsider, and the people that voted in favor of those articles would not be there to reconsider. You vote them last and then you adjourn so that there's no opportunity for a motion to reconsider.
We've seen that happen before too, where it's, yeah, so I would strongly support keeping it in the order that it is.
That makes
All right, anybody else?
Would you like me to go through the articles quickly? Are you?
Well, no, I just wanna see if anybody had any questions off the, like, anything that stood out that you have questions about. Did you? No. Do you wanna briefly go through them?
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
I think, you know,
7 and
to
8 we
Hector's
know.
question, I think the first 4 articles are very quick.
Mhm.
I don't expect much discussion on those. Article 1 is to rescind debt that was previously authorized for Lower Village. $51,000 remains on our books as a liability to borrow. We don't need that, the project is done, so that is a vote to rescind that.
Great.
Article 2 is our annual PFAS appropriation. So we are still in the remediation phase, with the EPA dropping to 4 parts per trillion. Now we are in the remediation of above 4. We were focusing on 20 parts per trillion, so there is still work to be done. They're still reporting. We have to start discussing remediation of the site. And we've encountered a couple of properties that we were not expecting that for one reason or another, the town have to put in wells or move the wells on their property. That comes out of this as well because it's PFAS related. So this will get the next round. We are still working on last year's appropriation, so I don't expect that we will need this until fiscal '27. It's just one thing to take off the annual town meeting warrant. Article 3 is a departmental transfer, it's budget neutral. When the assistant town administrator left, you're all aware, I had to pay more to get a new assistant town administrator. So this is to move money from the procurement wages line, because that position has remained unfilled, to just move it over to the salary line for the assistant town administrator. Article 4 is the CPC article for $150,000 for the Randall Woods Park wetland restoration process. We are receiving funds through the state, through their in lieu of program, from $50,000, and then this will work in tandem with that to get the design, engineering, and permitting done for the wetland restoration, with the goal of then receiving additional grant funding in lieu of funds to actually construct the wetlands. The Randall Woods Park is highly favored project of the state. They are very supportive and are anxious to provide us with lots of grant opportunities, so this is the seed to get that design going.
Great.
So those are the first 4. I don't know if you want me to pause, if you want me to go on to Article 5.
I would ask that we pause so that, and because we know 7 and 8 sit with Valerie, so if, I would just ask on those.
So why don't we take, if anybody doesn't have any questions about 1 through 4, let's take a motion to approve 1 through 4 and 7 and 8 right now.
Just a quick side note question, so the
Yeah.
EPA PFAS limit finally did come through?
So as far as I know, it is not, it's still in the implementation phase, but they have voted to drop it to 4. It just hasn't, I think it starts in 2026, the effective date, but we have to operate under the assumption that it will be 4.
All right, so a motion for that.
I move to approve the special town meeting warrant specifically for Articles 1 through 4 and 7 and 8 for the October 27th, 2025 special town meeting.
Second.
Alright, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Alright, that is unanimous. Mr. Toole?
Madam Chair, I do need to recuse myself for Articles 5 and 6.
Great.
Let the record show that I am recused and leaving the room.
Would you like to say why you're recusing?
Delegate.
Just, you just don't like it, like you're just leaving?
Because it does affect,
It does affect your life, I see, okay, fantastic.
There is a
Thank you.
financial benefit.
There is a financial benefit to you,
To his
I
house.
approve that, okay. And so 5 and 6, do you wanna briefly go over 5 and 6?
Yes. So 5 and 6 are changes to the general bylaw personnel administration. If you'll recall, when I first started, the town, before I had started, the town brought in the calling center and did a wage and compensation survey, put together a class and comp plan. That sort of sat around for a bit until I was hired, we implemented it. So because it sort of sat and it's been implemented, and yes, we apply a COLA every year, we are now not comparable with surrounding communities, and many of our department heads are maxed out and there's no potential for additional step increases. So I looked at where we are, I looked at the current schedule, and then I looked at the lower steps on our scale, and quite frankly, the lower steps are under market significantly. I was told by one employee they could make more money at McDonald's than they would sitting in here in an office of what we're paying. So looking at the pay scale, I am recommending that we take the current schedule, sort of lop off steps 1 to 4. Step 5 would become the new step 1, and we build 12 steps from there. So departments, mostly department heads, but employees that are maxed out on step 12 would now be on step 8, and they would have 8 years because we get a step every other year. They would have 8 more years of steps and potential for growth in their position and in their salary before we need to reevaluate again and make sure that we're staying current with the market. So I put that together. I looked at where that falls in terms of obviously financial. There is a financial impact. However, I will say there's no financial impact today. I'm doing this now so that we can use these rates if it passes to build our budget. The impact, it impacts 14 people. So 14 people are either maxed out or on the low end that are either not getting any increases or under market value. So the cost to bring for those 14 individuals is $32,000, would be step increases and adjustments on the lower end to bring them into the new pay scale. So I understand obviously there is a financial component. The finance committee had their public hearing last night. We went through this, we discussed the financials. Actually, one of their members thought it was still not enough, that we should be doing more for the lower end employees, but they agreed, they supported this, they voted favorable action. They feel that it's important, obviously, for us to stay competitive, us to stay within market range, and for us to recognize the employees that are here and show that they still have potential for growth. So that is Article 5, would be to vote a new base plan. No one is impacted this year, it's really for next year. And I would say that, you know, as we have done, there would likely then be a COLA on top of this, because all we're doing is adjusting the schedule. So for annual town meeting, there would likely be whatever COLA we discussed during the budget season. But that would be Article 5. Article 6 are changes to other personnel benefits for non-union employees. With our non-union employees, they don't have the benefit of our union employees or our contractual employees that negotiate every 3 years new benefits. The personnel bylaw is what it is, and we don't review it as often as we should, in my opinion, to make sure that those benefits are staying current. Excuse me. So Article 6 makes a couple changes that would benefit primarily this building, library staff, and the community center staff. Police, fire, DPW, they're all unionized, they all get their benefits. And most of the department heads, with the exception of myself, the police chief, the fire chief, we have contracts, so this affects all of our department heads as well. So The first change would be to amend the holiday schedule. You should be familiar, but if you're not, when I came here, there was this long-standing tradition that the day after Thanksgiving, the building was closed, but people had to use their vacation time. Except for people that were grandfathered that were here when we had a union and they were in a union contract. So we still have about 5 employees that are grandfathered, so they got that as a holiday. Everyone else was required to use a vacation day. I did not find that fair. I've closed every year since I've been here on the day after Thanksgiving, so everyone is treated equally. So this would just solidify that. We have already negotiated that into the DPW contract, so they have the day after Thanksgiving as a contractual holiday. The other 2 I added in here, which would be half-day for Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, only if it falls on a regularly scheduled workday. Again, I've been closing the buildings and giving employees the afternoon. No one's gonna come in and pay their taxes at 3 o'clock on Christmas Eve. You know, I just felt like it's a small symbol for our employees that they can take the time and go spend with their family. So I did include the half days on those 2 days, but only if it's a Monday through Friday. If it's a Saturday, we're not giving them half day Friday or anything like that. So only if it falls on a Monday through Friday. The next change I'm proposing is change to the vacation schedule. So currently our vacation schedule is 1 day per month. After year 5, you go to the next step of vacation after 10, and then you max out at 15. So I'm looking to speed up the schedule and separate it by grade. It is harder for me to hire department heads and give them 2 weeks of vacation. The goal is to attract employees that have municipal experience, that want to leave where they currently are and come here, and we are just not comparable with our current vacation policy to do that. So this would, it's still the same maximum applies, we're not giving additional time than what's currently allowed, it's just a little bit quicker. So for instance, with our grades 1 through 5, the first 4 years remains the same. The current policy is then they get a day for each year after year 5. This would give them the whole next allotment on year 5, which would be 18 days. So they're not waiting a day. And then they would max out at 10 years instead of 15 years. So it just speeds up their vacation accrual. For grades 6 through 8, it would start at the 18 days and then max out after 6 years. So that just gives us some discretion to, again, try and attract, and this is not a slight to people in different grades, but it's harder to bring in people with the experience. We can hire people in other grades that maybe don't have municipal experience. We can train them on the job for certain positions. I can't train a DPW director. You know, they can't learn that without having any municipal experience. So for me, that's why I'm separating those grades out. It's very common in municipalities to do that. As much as I would love to give everybody more vacation, I just can't afford to have it. We have small workforce. I can't have everyone having all this extra vacation up front. So that was why I did that. And then council had actually added a section that stated that in recognition of significant prior municipal service, I may apply a different vacation leave schedule. That was primarily for the lower grade. So if we are trying to attract someone that has significant municipal experience applying for a lower grade position, it gives me some discretion to try and match what they have for vacation while still staying within the vacation schedule that we allow. The next change is just solidifying that the steps are every other year. I was just extending out those dates. And then the last change is to the longevity. So longevity is, you know, a bonus for staying here for a long period of time. Our current longevity schedule, unfortunately, is a little abysmal. We recognize employees when they hit 9 years of service and we give them $200 as a bonus. And then only $50 additional and they max out at $500. So we're saying thank you to employees that have been here 15 years by only giving them $500. Now, funny story, the chairman of our finance committee said he was getting a $250 bonus working in a stocking shelves in a liquor store 25 years ago, and they gave him $250 as a bonus. So we have increased that in our union contracts. So what I am proposing is that we start with 5 years or more service, so we lower the thresholds to start recognizing employees that are here for 5 or more years, and they receive $250 per year, and we cap it at $2,000. So it isn't, obviously, it is, again, a financial impact. The cost of that is $21,000. We have employees just for sake of it, 10 years, 18 years, 20 years, 12 years, 12 years, 26 years, 26 years, 20 years. I mean, they're getting $500 as a thank you. So to me, you want to reward the employees that are staying here, that are putting in their time to the town of Stowe, and this would just be that benefit. Again, the Finance Committee voted favorable action on this article as well. They recognized that, again, they felt it possibly should be more, but they recognize that we should be rewarding and, really thanking the employees that have been here. So those are those two articles, and I'm happy to answer questions.
Questions? You have a question?
I have a couple, just some things I wrote down. Is there any difference between vacation, PTO, and sick leave under the?
So we don't have PTO. We have a separate bucket for sick and a bucket for vacation.
Okay.
So PTO is just normally it combines everything into one bucket.
Right, so they are kept separate, and it sounds like employees, there's a max, they can't just accrue indefinitely.
No, so vacation time, employees have to use it, or they can only carry over what they accrued in that year. So certainly if someone earns 3 weeks, they could carry over 3 weeks.
Right.
But they can never have more than that on the books from year to year, because they can only carry over what they've accrued.
Okay.
They don't, so, and they only get paid out vacation if they leave employment and if it's fully earned. We front load the vacation, so you get it on July 1st, but technically it's accrued monthly. We just give it as a courtesy, so if someone wants to take vacation in July, they have it. But if someone leaves employment, we prorate that, like they don't get to work until July 2nd and cash out all their vacation time.
But, so if I understood, you could let's say you start with 3 weeks, you could take none of that, and then you would pass that 3 weeks on to the next year?
Yes.
Okay, but that's it.
Right, then you can't carry over 6 weeks, you could still just carry over 3 weeks. So then you would have to use your 3 weeks during the next year, because you can only carry over 3 weeks or you lose it.
Okay, you mentioned that there were 14 employees who would be impacted by the change, out of how many, roughly speaking?
There's a lot, well, yes, because most of our employees are in sort of the middle grades. They're currently in grades like 5 to 8. So again, out of everyone in this building, the library, the community center, it's only 14 that are on the two ends of the scale, either the lower end or the higher end.
Okay, so hard to say though.
Yeah, I mean, I can pull it up, as I have it,
That's okay.
I just removed them from my spreadsheet for calculations.
Okay, and then so the 2,000 per year, that would be, so once you hit, if I understand correctly, year 8 would be the 2,000 basically bonus, and then it would be 2,000 each year after that?
So it wouldn't be year 8.
No, did I get that wrong?
Yes. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it is year 8. Yes,
Okay. It is year 8, okay.
yes, so that's what it would remain for the remainder of their employment
So
year.
each year though would be 2,000, it wouldn't stop.
Correct.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Did you have questions? No. Did you have questions?
I was trying to figure out the whole Christmas schedule, so if Christmas falls on a Saturday, the federal holiday is on a Friday, the Thursday would not be a half day, is that?
Correct. Correct.
And I had the same question about the bonuses, but now it's clarified.
Okay, I have 2 things. One, I would like, I wanna vote this as a board just to vote it. I think because this also has a financial implication, it is worth our board taking a vote whether or not we support it or not. I think I would like to do that moving forward with any warrant articles that have to do with finances, just because I feel like we're in that role, we should probably be supporting the thing that we're putting forward. So if that seems like it's okay with everybody, we will do 2 motions. Unless anyone would like to speak up against that? No? Great. So let's.
Can I just clarify?
Yes.
So when you say 2 motions, is one of your motions that you're going to recommend favorable action to town meeting?
Yes, that is one of them, and then the other motion is going to be just to recommend these or not recommend,
To
but
approve them
approve
for
the
the warrant,
articles
okay.
to go into the warrant.
Okay.
Okay,
I don't have opposition, I'm just curious, wouldn't that also impact some of the articles 1 through 4?
I mean, certainly we could decide to, if you want to, we could go through every single thing and take a motion on
I'm-
all of them, and I don't have
yeah.
a problem with that. I just think that these two are bigger financial impacts, and I think that they, if we say as a board are putting forth policies that are talking about, you know, wanting to have employees in this town, like we are trying to be an inclusive community, we're trying to do that. I think this is one more way that as a board, we can say, yes, we also will pay you.
Yeah, I guess I'm
You
just
know what I
trying,
mean?
and I agree with everything you just said,
Mhm.
I'm just trying to clarify, like, where do we draw the line, is it, if it has to do with salary and
For me, it's cause it's such a huge amount of money,
just the amount, okay.
but I certainly would take, if anybody else wanted to say, I also would like to, like, do you wanna, we could vote favorable action on Randall Woods too, because that's something, do you know, like, and I'm happy to take that, if that's something anybody else wants to do. I'm just putting forth 5 and 6.
In that same spirit, and
Mm-hmm.
the Article 2 is $300,000, so that's a lot of money.
And
And what
sure,
I'm thinking is maybe we just say, because it's also personnel involved.
sure, that's fine, yes, okay, that would be a really good,
So otherwise you'd have to have like a dollar amount or,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To specific.
yep, okay. Thank you. Alright, so 2 motions, and then we can call this one back in.
He hasn't left the building?
Halfway home. Alright, apologies,
So your motion, if I may,
Yes,
would
thank
be that the select board recommends favorable action on Articles 5 and 6 to town meeting for the first motion.
So we do that first before we approve them?
Either way, it doesn't matter. You can,
favorable, and then the second one?
is to approve the warrant articles.
Okay.
5 and 6.
Do those together or do them one at a time?
2 separate ones.
2 separate, okay, great. I move to approve warrant articles number 5,
You can do it that way. You can
do
keep
it
going with that
whatever
one.
way.
okay. I move to approve warrant articles 5 and 6 for the October 27th, 2025 special town meeting.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Furthermore, I move to recommend favorable action on warrant articles number 5 and 6 for the October 27th, 2025 special town meeting.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, great.
JT.
JT. Welcome back.
Yeah, he hasn't
Mine
left
was
the building.
escaping me.
Alrighty, next, this is, as you remember from our last meeting, we had a long discussion about a statement on democracy and a letter. JT was not here, so I'm going to let him have a couple of minutes on the floor just to weigh in how he would have weighed in, maybe. And then we can all discuss the 2 things we have in front of us. Does that sound okay? Great. Floor's yours.
Thanks. Given this a lot of thought. And if the discussion is leaning toward proclamation and letter, I really feel that it's not appropriate for this board or is it in our tenure. And if that is how the board wishes to continue, then I really feel that I need to recuse myself from said discussions and said votes, because I really feel that in the history of this board, we've never taken political stands. We've always voted and have been voted in, not as a Democrat, Republican, or Independent, or anything else. And setting forth a proclamation, even if you use benign language, with the way that it would be set forth, it would be construed and configured in one of those political veins, one way or the other. So I guess I just need to get a consensus as to what or how this is going to continue. forward.
So can I ask you to clarify? I heard what you said. Are you saying you do not want to participate in a discussion about putting forth a statement on democracy, which we have in front of us, and a letter, or is this an either or situation, or?
Either or. If it's-
So
if
both
it's-
of them.
If it's a proclamation, I really cannot.
So it's not a proclamation, it's a statement on democracy, to be clear. That's what is on the table. That is what is written in the document that we have in front of us. There's no proclamation. It is a statement on democracy, okay? So, and then there's also a letter.
Correct.
So what I'm saying is, if we are gonna have the discussion about it, is the statement what you don't wanna be a part of? Is the letter what you don't wanna be a part
It would
of?
be the letter,
It would be the letter, okay.
because I don't feel we have any business
Okay.
telling others how to do their job.
And I hear you on that, absolutely. So what I would like to do then is, since we have you in the room for this, is to start having the discussion on what we put forth as the statement on democracy. I sent in notes, as you can see. I think there were some other notes that were sent in. This is where we landed, really based on our previous statements that we, the anti-racism and anti-hate. I feel like this, I don't know, I would like to hear everybody else's feelings on it, on what we have in front of us. Hector?
2 comments.
Sure.
One, I hope you decide to participate because your dissent is just as valuable as anybody's agreement. I would hope that you decide to continue to participate because your dissent is just as valuable as anybody's agreement as a member of the select board. As far as the content, one is something that I can't let go. On page 29, the second to last paragraph says the principles that would later be enshrined in our Constitution.
Hang on, sorry, I'm just stopping you. We're not talking about the letter right now.
That's the letter?
That's the letter.
Yeah, I'm
You're
not
on the
looking at the
letter,
packet.
28 is the
Sorry.
statement. Nope, it's fine, I wanna be very clear on what we are talking about.
As
So,
far as the statement goes, I'm in agreement that we should not be telling people how to do their jobs, but this one is written in a way where I appreciate the fact that we're expressing concerns about the examples being set and supportive of people continuing doing their jobs legally.
Ingeborg.
I'm in support of it.
Okay, great. Dan?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I think, and I sort of alluded to this last week, and part of my notes that I added in is that if anything should be pulled from the original statement as presented to us should be the matters that come from the so-called big beautiful bill, because, you know, we're talking about things being passed through proper avenues as they're intended to be done. I feel as though there were things, are things that continue to be done that are not necessarily, to use ideology, like conservative in nature or liberal in nature, but more like authoritarian in nature. And whether it would be someone to the far left or far right, it's not necessarily like a partisan thing, but a like bedrock of constitutional principles matter. So for that reason, you know, I understand what you're saying about like, I don't think that we should weigh in on, I don't like this legislation.
Correct.
But that's not what I feel is the purpose of this.
I would just agree with Dan that there are constitutional challenges that are being made with respect to police power that are delegated to the states, and that has to do with public health, public safety, as well as just, there's a lot of things that are constitutionally incorrectly applied these days. And it's not Democrat or Republican, well, yes it is, but, so I'm gonna vote in favor of this. It shouldn't be, but it is.
Okay. Yes.
So just a clarification based on JT's comments, the third paragraph in the bottom, where it references your anti-hate and anti-racism statements, it also says, and sending a letter to our elected representatives. Is that something you would like to strike from your statement? Or do you want to revisit that after you discuss your letter?
So I don't wanna take a vote on this until we discuss the letter.
Okay.
So I think because if we have to amend it, I don't wanna have to take multiple votes, so, okay, so everybody said what they needed to say as far as the statement? Great, yes, you feel like you said what you needed to say? Okay, letter time. I'm gonna start with you.
On the first page, second paragraph from the bottom, all are created equal. We know it's actually says all men are created equal and endowed with the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is in the Declaration of Independence, not in the Constitution.
Wait, where are you? Second page or first page?
Well, he's on the first page after the long,
After the
So
list of
today,
who-
as the select, is that paragraph?
No, as our
No.
nation, it's the first
Right.
paragraph.
First paragraph.
Right above what you were
Oh,
just
you
reading.
said the second paragraph.
From the
Jeez
bottom.
Louise, from the bottom, just say the first paragraph for goodness sake.
Page 29.
Jeez, all right, as our nation approaches, now I get it, okay.
The last sentence of that paragraph, it attributes those words to the Constitution, and they're actually in the Declaration
That's
of
a really good
Independence.
yeah, okay.
As far as the letter itself, yeah, it expresses, I mean, everybody saw what my comments were, and I think this expresses my comments in a much more tactful manner.
I thought this was good.
So can I clarify, so
Sure.
for that last, do you want it to say that all men are created equal?
No,
Okay, but you want me to change Declaration
you
of
want the
Independence?
proper attribution. I think looks really bad if we're doing something civic and can't even quote
Yeah,
the right
no,
document.
yeah.
Okay. Alright, so. Alright,
So I tried, so obviously I took, Megan had written the draft, then I added in comments from both Hector and Dan into sort of the concerns and filtered some of those in to try and incorporate. I will say, I did make one change from the version that you have, knowing JT's position. It signed members of the select board, so in case someone does not wanna sign it, or does not wanna put their name on it, it's not from the board as a whole, it's from members of the board. So I did make that change, and I printed it, it's in my office.
so here's the thing, we're gonna, because
Because
if-
the select board, whether it's unanimous or not unanimous, if it's a 4-1 vote, it's still the select board's vote.
Yes, but then there's signature spots and there would be a blank signature. And so we have lines for signatures, so because,
Say signed by the majority of the select board?
no, because I think in the email, so yes, we could, but
No,
also.
is that how you
but also-
dismiss? And,
In it says today as the select board of the town of Stowe, right? So that is the majority. However, that's not how that works. I do think that, well, I don't know, I'm of two minds, because I think that if one person doesn't want to sign it, then that also gives you the dissent. I mean, it shows that you didn't want to be a part of it either, instead of trying to sugarcoat it and saying it was a majority and only 4 of us signed it. So I think what I would put to you is, do you not want your name anywhere near this, or do you just not want your signature on it?
If this is gonna be sent out, I just won't sign.
Okay, but your name will still be,
It can be left blank.
okay, that's great, that's, okay, I'm fine with that.
I think both can be true, right? We can say the select board, but also, like, if something passed through the House, we wouldn't say, the House didn't pass it, or we would still say the House passed it, so we can say it's the select board, even though it's a portion of us.
Okay. All right, having said that, it sounds like the majority is in favor of sending the letter. So I wanna go back to,
so are there any other comments or changes you wanna make, or is everyone else good with the rest of it?
it's fine, except for the Constitution one. I do think that, and JT, I'm gonna put this to you, the line of sending a letter to our elected representatives is in the statement. Is that something, are you now going to how do you feel about, like, I don't wanna tell you that you, well, no, you tell me what you wanna do. If it has the
Strike
letter
that
in
line.
there. Okay,
What I would ask.
if we strike the line, that is the one thing that you would have issue with in this,
At this point,
is the
yes.
recognition of that. How does everyone else feel about keeping that or striking it?
I'm okay with striking it.
Okay.
It wouldn't eliminate the letter, it would just not allude to it, correct?
Mhm.
Yep.
Right.
It's fine.
Right, because I just don't think it
Okay.
belongs in the state.
Alright, friends, I'm ready for motions then. So let's do the,
Should this be mentioned like with the,
So I would take your second motion and just do it as two.
yep,
Move
the democracy
The democracy statement as amended, vote on that, and then move the letter as amended
second,
and
I'm sorry, one more time?
This one, we're gonna split it in two, so there's two. It's statement as amended and letter as amended, okay?
Thank you.
Alright,
Appreciate it.
democratic process at work. Alrighty.
And two separate votes?
And I'm
Two
sorry.
separate votes. Yep,
So in your last meeting, you said you wanted this to go to our entire federal and state delegation, which is why I added everybody. That's how you intended it, correct? Okay, I just wanna make sure, cause we didn't talk about that.
Did, and I'm sorry, maybe I missed this, in the list of names, no, it did include people, okay. I wasn't sure if we included people who are not our specific legislators, but they were included.
So the ones that we included was the House Speaker, the Senate President, obviously the Attorney General and the Governor who you elect as anyways. So really it's just the Speaker and the Senate President.
Yep, those two names, yep.
Yep.
Okay. Fantastic.
okay,
Okay. I move to approve the democracy statement as amended.
Second.
alright, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Alright, and that is unanimous.
Furthermore, I move to approve the letter as amended at this meeting.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing and hearing none?
I'm sorry, could you say approve and sign the letter? I should have added
Yes.
sign to that. That amendment.
To
Sorry,
just the letter,
sorry.
okay. Let me clarify, I move to approve and sign the letter as amended at this meeting.
Second.
Any further discussion? Whew, seeing and hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 4, all those against? And that's 1.
Yay.
Motion passes. Alright, next, meeting minutes.
Didn't I get you some water?
No, I wanna make everyone uncomfortable.
We can take them all.
Do you need some?
No, I'm fine, I have a minute, I'm good, I'm
Okay,
good.
great.
Thank you. Thank you. Alright. Anybody have any questions on the minutes?
Do not.
Good as usual.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, AI land.
I'm assuming Joyce reviewed it.
Phoebe and Joyce, yep.
Phoebe and Joyce reviewed it, so.
Great.
Thanks for them.
Okay. Make a motion.
Okay, I move to accept the meeting minutes of the September 23rd, 2025 meeting.
Second.
Any further discussion?
I will vote for it because I did read them over and they do look reasonable.
Alright, all those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous. Correspondence is not on the it's not an agenda item. Doesn't matter.
It's still on your agenda.
We received quite a few emails from Mark Robert about this declaration and letters, and I will hope that with the voting of this evening, that this is done. Excuse me. That we can put this all to bed. And
Comment is, I feel like Comcast is ghosting us.
Well, this is an off week, so maybe they'll inundate us for next week.
That's
'Cause
true.
next week is your regularly
That's
scheduled
true.
meeting.
Alright, anybody else have anything they need to say? I will take the last motion.
I move to adjourn our
Second.
meeting tonight.
Alright, second.
All those in favor? Aye. And that is unanimous. Thank you all.
Thank you.
And I'm going to get that statement for you to sign.
Oh my God.